So an excursion is something that's external to your accommodation and your hotel stay. It's usually a trip to a water park or hiking, and it may be included within the package or it may be not included in the package. Before you go on an excursion, I would check whether it's covered by your travel insurance. Make sure you take all the right equipment and gear. Make sure you take your sun cream. Make sure you take plenty of water. If you go with children, make sure you take armbands and things like that. So just your normal safety precautions that you'd take if you were going on an excursion here in England. If you are unfortunate enough to have an accident while you're on the excursion, make sure you report it to the providers of the excursion. Also make sure you report it when you get back to the hotel, to the reps and to the hotel. In particular with an excursion, you must make sure you keep all your booking documents if you booked it separate from your package, and your tickets. And if possible, you might not be able to do this, but find out if they'll give you a copy of their insurance, because it can be difficult to identify who the insurers are if it's not obviously part of your package. Yes, you can. It is a little bit more difficult, and the main thing is we just need to be able to identify the correct defendant. So it does help if you're able to provide us with the booking documents for the excursion, and if when you've had the accident, if you ask for a copy of the insurance policy, because it's important for us to know that the defendant has the means to pay out any compensation. You can make a claim, and it's governed by a special provision called the Athens Convention. The rules that apply for such claims are different than other personal injury claims. There's a stricter time limit for bringing a claim in the court. So there's a 2-year limitation period for you to issue court proceedings rather than 3 years. So you must seek legal advice as soon as possible. Things to do before you go on a cruise is check that your travel insurance covers cruises, check that any excursions that you take during the cruise are covered in your travel insurance. It's just important that you report the accident to the cruise liner, and when you do come home, you seek legal advice as soon as possible because of the stricter time limit. The manner in which you can claim will depend on who's at fault, and that will depend on where the accident took place. If it was on the ramp and you were just about to go on to the cruise, then it would be the cruise liner and it would be governed under the Athens Convention. If you're on dry land on the port still, then it could be a claim under the package tour regulations against the tour operator, or it could be an occupier's liability claim against the port. Yes, because your travel insurance will not compensate you for personal injury, so for the injury element of your claim. You should be able to claim your other out-of-pocket expenses, for example, medical expenses, travel to and from the hospital and things like that, but you would obviously have to just check with the travel insurer and check the wording of the policy. It's important that you let us know that if you have made a claim, so we can contact the travel insurers to see if they want to include their outlay within your claim. If you don't do this and you're later successful, there could be a clause in your policy which means that the insurers could come and seek their outlay from you directly. And it is also important that if you have made a claim on your travel insurance, that we don't then claim for those items as part of your losses, because that would be double recovery. It would just be the outlay that we would be seeking to recover. You can still make a claim, it is just a little bit more difficult. It's important for us to be able to identify who the event organiser is. If you can, ask for a copy of the insurance policy, because we would need to make sure that there is insurance in place, so we know the defendant has the means to meet any compensation payment. There can be lots of accidents at events because people are intoxicated, and we just have to establish whether if it's the fault of the event organizer. But if you do have an accident, try and keep take any photos of any defects that could have caused your accident, and also report it to the event organizer.